So this is one of the very first superheroes, Captain America.
My grandpappy knew him.
Yes, and Captain America started with World War II, the real guy, and it's a poster. But you know what? You have Superman on, and I like to tell a story about this first superhero brothers that were ever. There's a lot of superhero stories that 500 years ago people were making up stories like this. It's amazing. These 5 brothers, they were all Chinese brothers, and they were all born at about the same time. So that made them quintuplets. You know, we have twins that are 2, we have triplets that are 3, we have quadruplets 4, and then we have quintuplets, which is 5. And these 5 brothers all look just the same, but they had something very special about each one of them that was different from the other one, like our other story that we told earlier. You know what the first brother did? He could hold the sea in his mouth, and he'd bring home fish and seashells that nobody else could see. It was very exciting. And then the second brother, he had a neck. Can you remember? Try to remember this. He had a neck like iron. The third one had skin that could not be burned. The fourth one had legs almost like rubber that could stretch. And the fifth one could hold his breath almost as long as he wanted. So it happened that the first Chinese brother would go down to the seashore, and he'd bring back all these fish and all these different seashells. And one little boy said, "Can I go?" You'd have to know how to obey. Oh, I learned how to obey when I was 2. Well, you got to be able to keep a secret, because I don't want anybody knowing how I get these. Oh, I can keep a secret, no problem. Finally, the little boy talked the brother into it, because he was kind of lonely going down there every day fishing by himself. So he said to the little boy, "Now, when we get down there, I'm going to hold the sea in my mouth." "What?" "And I can't keep it because it builds pressure up, and it'll just burst out, and I can't help it when it bursts out." Oh wow, this sounds very exciting. "So you better watch me, because when I motion for you to come, then you come." "I will. Yes, sir, I will do that. This is so exciting." So the Chinese brother got down there, and he leaned over, and he started the sea. This is exciting. And he got the seashells. We can sell these. We can sell, look, these fish. And then he looked over, and there was pirate ships. Forget all this other stuff. There's a treasure box in there. I know it. And he ran into there, and sure enough, he found the treasure box. He lifts the lid, and there's gold and pearls and jewels and emeralds and rubies and diamonds, and he starts putting the rings on and the bracelets on and the necklaces and all over his legs and his arms and his head and his underwear and his everywhere he was sticking. He could find any place to put jewelry. And the Chinese brother is standing back there turning purple. "Oh, yeah, I'll be there. But just one more. Just a little more bracelets. We're going to be rich."
Oh no.
Well, he said he couldn't help it. He couldn't keep the ocean in his mouth forever, you know. And so it was.
Poor little boy.
I know. The Chinese brother got back to the town, and he said, the people said, "Now, where is that little boy?" He kind of stopped and took a drink and looked around, and I don't know. "You're going to jail. And if we can't have him in the morning, we're going to have your head." So they put him into jail. And the next morning they bring him out. That boy's not back, so they put him down towards the exit. "Would you like to say anything before you go?" "I'd like to say goodbye to my mother." "It's only right. Go home. Say goodbye to your mother." And he went home, and he traded places with the other one that looked just like him, that had the neck like iron. And he came back, he looked just like him, and had a neck like iron. And so they raised the axe, and it bounced off. What is this? They raised the axe, and it bounced off. Oh my gosh, we can't have his head. We'll go back to jail. So the next morning they think, okay, we'll burn him. That's what we'll do. We'll take him to the stake. They took him out there to the stake. Okay, would you like to say anything before you go? I'd like to say goodbye to my mother. It's only right. So he ran home and he traded places with a boy that looked just like him but had skin that could not be burned, right? Stood him up by the stake and they lit the fire and it's burning everywhere and he's just standing there. What is this? We can't have his head and we can't burn him. Back to jail. The next day they took him out to the boat. And you know what they asked him before they put him on the boat to dump him into the water?
I wish to say goodbye to my mother.
That's right. I wish to say goodbye to my mother. It's only right. So he ran home and he traded places with his other brother and he came back. They put him on the boat, took him out to the ocean, into the water. His legs stretched down to the bottom and he was standing there, his head above the water. How could this happen? Well, this is crazy. They pick him up, doing, his legs come back, they put him into jail. They scratch their heads. We can't have his head, we can't burn him, we can't drown him. Nobody can live without air. That's what we'll do. Tomorrow, we'll put him in that oven, that dead, broken oven, but it's airtight. We'll put him in there. So the next night, they bring him over, they take him out to the oven, and what did they ask? Everybody?
I wish to say goodbye to my mother.
Right. Can I say goodbye to my mother? Yes, it's only right. He ran home, trades places with a brother that has almost the ability to hold his breath as long as he wants, hopefully. And they brought him back and threw him into the oven and locked the door. And they wait, and they wait, and they wait. Oh, I guess we'll have a picnic out here. And so they decide they're going to have dinner, and then they're going to have a picnic. And then I guess we'll sleep out here. Nobody can live without air this long. And they sleep out there, and he's in the oven. The next morning, they open the door. What do you think?
He's alive.
He's alive. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Oh my gosh, we can't have his head. We can't have his. He can't burn. He can't drown. He can live without air. He must have done nothing wrong. He must be innocent. Go home
He's a superhero.
and live with your mother. And that's how those Chinese brothers cooperated and lived together. And how much better it is when we help one another, right? And cooperate together because we all can do something that someone else can't do.